China is vast. The years of her history are counted in thousands. Her acres are counted in millions. Her people are counted in hundreds of millions. But the voice of one Chinese on his 1/3 of an acre reveals the strength of a nation at war. One voice belongs to Hung Yung in Sichuan province. For many hours today, he's walked behind the plow. For many years, he's tilled these fields. For many generations, his family has conquered the soil. The battle with the earth was won by simple tools and hard work. The battle with the enemy will be won the same way. The enemy is a rock upon the land, and the farmer knows how to deal with rocks. Together with a neighbor, Hung Yung builds a mud dike in the flooded fields, just as their sons build a barrier of defense in fields of battle. Together they lift the water from the lower field to the upper field, basketful by basketful, just as the sons fight to lift the rock, inch by inch.
We eat bitterness these days, but one day the sons will be home, and the sons and their sons will make things grow.
The family knows the taste of bitterness too. Hung Yung's wife gathers in the harvest. Hers was a voice that sang once. Her hands are strong, but the work is hard. No machines to ease the burden, no horse-drawn rake. The hands of the wife, the hands of children, the hands of neighbors are the rakes. It has always been so on Hung Yung's farm. You go on planting and harvesting. Later there will be time for singing. The nation still lives. The children live. They will be the farmers of tomorrow, of a better tomorrow, they say. Already they tell of new things learned in school. New things that would have come sooner had not the enemy come first. New machines. New methods that will ease the burden. But Hung Yung wonders. When the war is won, will there be a new kind of world in which you can rest between plowing and planting? A world in which your grain will not be soaked by sweat and tears? But the war is now. The food must be now. The wheat must be threshed, so you do it by hand, by back, by barrel. Each back, each hand, each stack of wheat is a weapon of war. You are a soldier of the soil. In other parts of China, in the hills and the valleys, are other voices and other people who fight to lift the rock that is the enemy on the land. Not all their voices are heard yet, but the strength of the people is felt. Down in Yunnan, a miner digs fuel for furnaces that will forage the weapons of war. He must dig more coal, just as the farmer must grow more food. Dig with his hands, carry loads on his back. A pick and a bamboo basket are his weapons of war. The weapons of others are the strength of their backs and the courage of their hearts. They too are fighting, these men who move the yield of the earth, the goods of war, over the rough roads from regions remote, mined in one province, move through another, destined for a third. When the load is heavy, the need is urgent, the land is broken, you pull together. People have always pulled their own loads in China. Not always did the voices ask why. Sometimes they only asked that there be a bowl of tea at the end of the day and a night of rest. But a scholar came to the market last year and said they must work harder, for there was a war that would bring freedom. The man of the open road has long known a freedom of his own. Leading the camel train down from the north, there are times when working makes you laugh, when the air seems clear, when your heart is light. His cargo is for war now. And his heart knows that the scholar's voice was true. His is one voice that all China will hear. Other voices blend as the people work together, just as the scholar had said. They pull a roller across a field to make it flat for planes. Planes that will ride across the sky and blast the rock upon the land. Bending together, pulling together, their voices rise together.
I Ching, I De. With one heart we work together.
Listen again. Listen to the voice that comes from the river. The voice of one whose plow has always been the oar, whose home is a pallet on the deck of a junk, whose dreams reach from the mountains to the ocean. The riverman knows much. He's wise without the wisdom of books. He's learned without the learning of the scholar. At the downriver ports, he saw the planes that dropped death. With the upriver people, he felt the sting of bullets.
We fishermen know not the signs which make words, but we know the sounds that make war. When I first saw the enemy, I told myself, Sung Ping, this is not the fighting between one warlord and another. It is a new kind of fighting. It is for all of us. You must do your part.
Sung Ping went on catching his fish in this peaceful river as before. But when he heard the roar of the planes above, he knew what was coming and had to tell. When he told, those in charge of one of the war's most efficient air raid warning networks sent a radio man to join him on the junk. And they became spotters of the enemy and guards of the river. A plane that ventured over the heart of China would not come over unheralded. And Sung Ping knows more. He knows the people who come from distant places to reach the river, people who fled the terror that came with the enemy, refugees from their own homes. They too are Sung Ping's cargo, human cargo. As he carries them to safety under the protection of darkness, he hears them whisper in many strange accents of homes that were lost, of bombs that were dropped, of hearts that were broken. And sometimes, some talk of new things to come. This is what Sung Ping likes best to hear. They talk of homes that will be re-won, of lands that will be replanted, of hearts that one day will be freer than hearts have ever been in China. And the children who have been snatched from under the fire of the enemy, children who have never known play, their voices cry out, "What is a game? Is it a game when you walk all day beside your mother? Is it a game when you eat a bowl of bean curd and you're still hungry? These are the children of this war who have never known peace. Their parents carry them to a new future in free China. They are China's future. For them, there must be health and homes and schools. For them, there must be a new world. When the rock is lifted from the land, then theirs will be a new world.